You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network, Spartan Athletics on the Internet.
Tough home loss to the crosstown rival CAK on Friday night. The Webb School Spartans try to get back on the winning track here tonight against the Grace Rams. And I'm going to now welcome my partners, Alex Lansing and Cooper Edenfield, into the broadcast. And guys, a big game tonight for the men in green. Alex, I'll start with you. This Grace team, known for its ability behind the arc, how is Webb going to shut them down?
Well, Webb's going to be playing Webb's going to come out tonight in a man-to-man offense, and they're going to and Coach Ricky Norris is going to have to trust his defense to be athletic enough to press out on the ball while at the same time not compromising the inside game.
And that inside game for the Spartans is something special when you have a guy like Cole Sams who comes off of your bench, but Burton Sampson, Liam Willoughby, Justin Jenkins, all very talented players, and then you have guys like Braden Neighbors and Austin Cox out front. This is a very good Webb team, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously it's a lot of fun to watch them play. You know, they're big. Burton, obviously a fantastic player. He's our biggest guy, but he can also shoot, so very versatile. All our players play inside and outside. It's a special team.
This team has a little bitter taste in its mouth, as I said, Alex. They really didn't play that well on Friday night against the CAK Warriors. They ended up losing the game by 1 point, 57-56. A tough loss for this team. How are they going to come back tonight?
You know, that is a tough loss. In basketball, you're going to have to keep a short memory. You're going to have to keep their mind focused on the present game, not dwell in the past. They're going to have to establish a balance between their perimeter game and their inside game and establish themselves as a dual-threat team.
This team has capabilities, Cooper, as we enter towards the end of the season, postseason capabilities on the line here. A big game tonight against this Grace team. They won't go away easy, but they are a very talented team. On the offensive end, what is Webb going to have to do to try to put points on the board?
You know, Webb's going to have to move the ball around, and we're going to have to set good screens. We're going to have to get guys open, and obviously, we got to shoot well from outside. We haven't been shooting well lately, but if we shoot well outside, I think we'll be able to win this game.
Those were your Shrimp Dock keys of the game, and thank you for joining us here on the Shrimp Dock pregame show as we are about ready for tip-off here, about a minute and a half away here at the Lee Athletic Center. A good basketball game coming to you live. It's Webb, it's Grace. It should be a good one. When we come back, we'll be up at the broadcast booth ready for tip-off. When we come back, it is tip-off time in the Lee Athletic Center. You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network.
You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network, Spartan Athletics on the Internet.
Welcome into the broadcast, everyone. And as we are up here situated and getting ready to go, let's move straight into the starters. First for Grace, coached by Coach Mercer, you have number 10, Tamer Hill, number 11, Nathan Silver, 21, Trey Stewart, 32, Matt Holland, and then the big fella down low, number 44, Luke Shepard. Holland and Shepard, the two big men for Grace, but I will tell you this, the guard number 21, Trey Stewart, a very big guy. We'll see what he can do underneath for the Grace Christian Academy Rams. And now for the Webb School Spartans, under the direction of head coach Ricky Norris. Here are the starters. Brandon Neighbors, the point guard, number 2. It's Justin Jenkins, one of the wings, number 3. Number 5, his accomplice, Austin Cox, the junior. Senior, Burton Sampson, 13. And Troy Whiteside, him and Brandon Neighbors switch it up outside at the point guard position for the Spartans. So it's Whiteside, Sampson, Cox, Jenkins, and Brandon Neighbors, the starting lineup for the men in green. And this is a very talented team, Alex, as you look out. It is a very veteran group on this on the floor tonight that has been through ups and downs all season long, but they do need to win here tonight against Grace.
Absolutely they do. This would be a crucial win for the men in green. This team, when they're on their game, they are on their game, and there is not a team that can beat these guys. So we're going to see how they come out tonight.
As both teams meet at midcourt, we are about ready for tip-off here. Sampson.
It's not a lot of times you see the guard taking the tip.
When a guard is this big, as big as Trey Stewart, you might have to.
Yeah, I saw him in warm-ups. He's a shooter. He's going to be a tough one to guard, and either Burton or AC or Justin's going to have to guard him, and that's going to take away a big body down low. So Whiteside and Neighbors and Gormley and Minyard off the bench are going to have to step up big in terms of bodying up.
And Will Robinson was forced to go get a ball from the team manager from the locker room. There was no ball to play with, so now looks like we have the equipment and the players are ready. It will be Stewart against Sampson here to open this game. The ball is up, and Webb will control possession. Brandon Neighbors out front, and he'll set it up for the men in green. Austin Cox on the left side. Cox uses a head fake, gives it to Jenkins. Jenkins gets a screen from Sampson, now to Troy Whiteside. He'll work out of the track, give it back to Neighbors, top of the key. Over to Justin Jenkins on the left side. He'll drive and kind of dump it off, and a kicked ball violation by number 21, Trey Stewart. So a lot of the same here to start this game. A lot of try to create openings underneath by delaying the ball out front, but nothing doing so far for the men in green.
Yeah, our Coach Norris is just testing the Grace defense right now, seeing what they're going to let them get away with. So far, both sides are looking steady.
Neighbors pestered out front. He'll get a screen. Now Cox. Back to Neighbors. He's open for 3 to Troy Whiteside in the corner. Takes a dribble, pulls in the short corner. No good. Tipped around. And finally rebounded by Justin Jenkins. Jenkins kicks out to Austin Cox. Cox open for 3, and he got it.
There it is.
He is very deadly from outside. Austin Cox for 3.
And Webb ball.
And then a turnover very quickly for Grace. And the last thing you want is a team to get hot in the first 2 minutes. Right inside a minute, Webb hits a 3.
That is exactly what the Spartans needed right there from AC. Delivered a great 3, one of the better shooters on the team.
Justin Jenkins in the corner. He'll look for Neighbors. He'll get it to him. Now to Austin Cox. Cox drives. Dump off Justin Jenkins on the baseline. Jenkins goes up, misses the shot, and then they're going to call a foul over the back on Justin Jenkins.
No, I can't tell, but it looks like Grace came out in some form of a crude zone. If they're going to want to stop the Spartan perimeter game, that's not going to work.
And
Grace. This Spartan backcourt defense is just, they just
deadly.
don't let up. I've never seen a defense like it.
It's relentless. The condition that these players are in is truly a statement to their conditioning.
They just crack down on them.
Grace finally gets it in, and they will break the press. And here come the Rams. Holland turns it over. Now Webb in transition. Whiteside pushes. Goes up, and they're going to call a blocking foul against number 10, Tamer Hill, his first personal foul. And Troy Whiteside's going to go to the line.
Now, while they're inside,
on the floor.
Now, while the Spartans' inside game and perimeter game have been off and on throughout the season, the one characteristic of their game that has remained constant has been their success in the fast break opportunities.
Jenkins gets it inside to Troy Whiteside, misses the jump shot, tipped around, rebound And it's going to be Grace who ends up with it, and it's going to be Tamer Hill. Hill takes it across the timeline. And a dump off a deep three from number 21. Trey Stewart hits bottom. And just like that, we have a tie game. Deep three from Stewart.
Watch that matchup with Neighbors and Stewart throughout the night. If Stewart keeps capitalizing like that, they might have to switch off Sampson onto him just to get some height.
And then a turnover on the Webb offensive end. To the basket goes Nathan Silver. Lays it up and in, and he'll get a chance for an and one. Nathan Silver. A good drive, hard drive to the basket. And the foul is going to go against Austin Cox, his first, team second.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contact there. Could have gone either way. Good play regardless by Silver on the finish.
Silver misses the free throw. And now the Spartans with Burton Sampson will take it up. Brandon Neighbors to Justin Jenkins. Quickly into the short corner. Back to Jenkins at the right side. Uses his size, and they're going to call 3 seconds in the lane on Burton Sampson. Austin Cox had a drive to the basket, but it's going to be a turnover. Camping out in the lane was Burton Sampson, they say. And it's going to be Grace ball. Grace leads Webb 5-3 here early. Almost, and it is a turnover. Tamer Hill turns it over. Now Austin Cox. He'll kind of back out, give it back to Justin Jenkins. Brandon Neighbors picks up his dribble. Justin Jenkins going to fire a three.
There it is. That was pretty.
Justin Jenkins hits the three.
And the threes do not appear to be a problem tonight for Webb as their transition defense seems to be hurting them.
And now a three by number 44, the big fellow, Luke Shepard.
Grace is simply tearing it apart. Coach Norris might want to consider just setting up in a good defense.
8-6, Brandon Neighbors in the corner. Avoids a track, gives it back to Whiteside. Whiteside drives, pulls up, step inside the free throw line. Basket good by Whiteside, and we're back to an 8-8 game. 8-8 our score. Breaking the press.
And again,
Grace. And now a steal by the Spartans. Austin Cox, and that's a foul on number 10, Tamer Hill, his second personal foul early in the first quarter.
This game so far is being decided off the fast break success of both teams here.
Coming into the game is Kobe Kelly for Grace and Caleb Walker. Burton Sampson. Challenged by Walker. He drives baseline. He makes the shot, but a foul was called on the floor. That foul is going on Caleb Walker.
So far this game looks like the three-pointers are working for Webb. They might want to just run a set play to Jenkins or Cox, the hot hands, see if they can't just increase his lead by 3. Force Grace to respond on the other end.
Always a good option to get it to Sampson, too.
Absolutely.
Whiteside gives it to Neighbors over to Jenkins. 1 for 1 from 3 land tonight. Fires another one. And there's going to be a foul on the 3. A late call. But Justin Jenkins will go to the line for 3 foul shots as he was hit. And it's going to be a foul on number 22. That's Kobe Kelly, his first, team 4th.
Never want to have a foul on a three-pointer.
Absolutely not.
No, especially not with this guy. Jenkins is very consistent from the line this year.
First shot for Jenkins is good. And now Webb takes its lead, 9-8. 2 more foul shots upcoming for Jenkins. The second one is good. We'll see what happens with the third here. 5 points already for Jenkins. And Kevin Gormley will replace the shooter only if he makes this free throw. Jenkins got it to go. So 6 points for Jenkins here early.
As Willoughby and Gormley, some bigger bodies enter for Jenkins and Cox. Great start to the game by both of them. You have to wonder what he's going to want to do with Willoughby, and sure enough, it looks like he's going to stick Willoughby on the big guy and put Burton up top with their taller guards.
And trapped on the corner, they're going to call a foul on number 4, it looks like, Kevin Gormley.
No, it was a foul, but that was a good-looking press by the Spartans. That was the first time they really prevented Grace from getting a fast break look.
It was a neat double team right there.
And Burton Sampson pins it off the glass. Spartans in transition. Troy Whiteside dumps it off Brandon Neighbors. Now back to Sampson, who gives it to Troy Whiteside again.
Fans are loving it. Very exciting player Sampson is.
Absolutely. Great move by Coach Norris, substituting in Willoughby to allow Sampson to get out there and guard Stewart.
Huge mismatch for Sampson, working on the much smaller Caleb Walker, and they're going to call a charge on Burton Sampson.
Didn't see anything quite resembling a charge there. Maybe a little contact. Coach Norris is obviously very upset with the call.
And that foul is going against Burton Sampson, number 13. And Sampson's going to check out.
As Jenkins looks like it's going to now match up on the tall Stewart.
And now a trap stolen by Justin Jenkins. And they're going to say he stepped on the baseline.
I don't know.
Coach Norris definitely didn't think so, but no matter, it will go to Grace.
Spartans already with 4 team fouls. Not going to want to put a team as good as the Grace to the line.
And dumping it off inside, or to the top of the key, to Morris. And a deep, deep three is lined up and taken, but missed. Offensive rebound by the Rams. Off the glass, no good. It's going to go to Webb, but the three by Trey Stewart. He hit one from that range earlier, missed the second.
As Austin Cox is going to check back in for Brandon Neighbors, it appears that early on Coach Norris is going to want to keep his players cycling and keep them all fresh.
Cox to Whiteside. Whiteside drives, loses the handle. And
that's
then
a walk.
Steal.
That's a walk. That's a walk.
No call on the walk.
He slid halfway down to the court.
And it's going to stay in possession.
Coach Norris very upset that they didn't call the walk.
I would be too. Huh.
And a pass underneath for the Grace Rams. They will retain possession. They trail 11-8.
Austin Cox now guarding Stewart. That's going to be an interesting matchup in the corner. AC, a great defender. Stewart, a great shooter.
Good length with AC, too.
And then a drive inside. They're going to call a foul on number 14, Troy Whiteside. Looked like he was in position, but they're going to call a blocking foul on Whiteside, which sends number 22, that's Kobe Kelly, to the line.
That's the 5th team foul and the 5th different player for the Spartans. So if you want to look at the glass half full, at least no one's in true foul trouble. Kelly hits the first of 2.
A good shooter Kelly is. I've grown up and I've seen this kid play, and he's always been able to shoot. So putting him at the line is always dangerous.
And the second free throw is up and good by Kobe Kelly, making it an 11-10 game. Austin Cox on the right side. Cox to Gormley in the corner. Number 4 dials up a 3. It's no good. And they're going to say it's Webb basketball. Out of bounds, number 21, Trey Stewart. Webb to inbound here. 2:45 to go. Austin Cox. Underneath to Kevin Gormley,
nice
goes
pass.
up, misses the lay-in.
Good vision by Cox on the floor. And there it is, picks it right off. He penetrates and lays it.
And his shot bounces in. Good recognition and shot by Austin Cox. The steal and bucket gives him 5 points on the evening.
He has some excellent vision.
Impressive playing by Cox right there.
Jenkins goes for the steal. Now Webb a little bit confused on defense, and Grace will reset with number 5, Caleb Walker. Walker dumps it off. Grace with it in the corner.
Looks like despite Willoughby's presence, Cox will remain on Stewart as Sampson's going to match off on Kelly.
Walker tries to find something. He'll dump it off to Stewart. Thought about the 3.
Now Grace is going to try to set screens for Stewart to get a mismatch, but AC is going to have to continue to fight over them. He can't let a smaller player defend him and give Stewart the shot opportunity.
And a foul there on number 33, Liam Willoughby. Too much contact for the referee's liking, and that foul will give Webb its 6th foul on the night.
And as of now, that's number 2, Brandon Neighbors, the only of the 7 Spartans who has not committed a foul tonight.
So to throw it in, underneath is Caleb Walker. Nobody flashes open, and finally it's Nathan Silver. Silver gives it back to Walker. He'll reset for Grace. The big fella, number 44, Luke Shepard, dumps it back off. And that's going to be a nice take to the basket and finish by number 22, Kobe Kelly, his 4th point on the night. Recognized the man underneath. Stop, popped, and let it drop.
It's a good hesitation move.
Inside to Wilby. Back out to Austin Cox. Now Cox drives and Dumps it off to Kevin Gormley, loses the handle, and back out to Willoughby. Cox. Gormley. And a good look to Liam Willoughby, who misses the lay-in. Burton Sampson goes up, gets the rebound and one. Burton Sampson.
Way to not give up on the play by Sampson. That's some more great vision executed by Gormley there. Willoughby just a little off balance, but great play by Sampson to put it back up and get the and one.
Although the Spartans have hit some big threes tonight, Coach Norris keeps stressing, get the ball inside. We really want to pound the paint and, you know.
Absolutely. He's going to want to keep Grace guessing in terms of what he wants to plan offensively.
And that's going to be Kobe Kelly trying to drive inside baseline. Nothing doing to Shepard. And pass to Walker. Walker backs back out as we take under a minute to go. The Spartans in control, 15-12 the score. That's Silver to Shepard. Shepard drives on Jenkins. And that's going to be a charge against number 44, Luke Shepard, his first foul on the night. Using too much of his elbows and body to back Jenkins in. They're going to call the foul.
Dean Minyard enters the first time for Liam Willoughby. Great job on the defensive front by Willoughby. All these Spartans, I'm impressed so far in the discipline they've executed on the defensive end.
48 seconds to go here. And Webb going to let it roll as long as they can. And now Cox will pick it up to Gormley on the right side. Back to Cox. They throw it into Minyard and just a little bit beyond Minyard's fingertips, and then a three-pointer to tie the game. No good, and now Cox going to hustle down the rebound. Dumps it off to Burton Sampson. They're going to call a charge.
That could have gone either way. Good play by Stewart getting his feet set if it was indeed a charge. Great hustle play by Cox. Great vision seeing Sampson. That's just a good defensive play.
Sampson's second foul. He's going to check out of the game. Gormley checks out as well. Or excuse me, Gormley comes in.
You know, there's never been a real situation this year where Sampson has been in foul trouble for the Spartans. He's been their center and the rock that they've all relied on. So it'll be interesting to see how they play if he does indeed pick up a third foul.
The only time I can think of he's been in foul trouble is the Catholic game, and we all know how that one ended. We don't want that to happen again.
Stewart out for the Rams. It'll be interesting to see how they work their offense now.
Nathan Silver trying to back in on Brandon Neighbors. And 5 seconds with the ball. And that's going to be a costly turnover for the Grace team, trying to at least take this to a one-point game. Now Webb with the ball with 8 seconds, almost 9 seconds left, and a chance to really further their lead. 15-12 the score. And now Cox going to pick it up.
Look for a good shot. They don't have to force anything here.
Jenkins with 3 seconds now. He's going to pull up in the corner. No,
excellent.
Good. Brandon Neighbors.
Oh, what a play by Jenkins. Looked like for a second he was about to force it, but the last minute just dumped it down to cutting Neighbors, who finished. Great looking play.
Brandon Neighbors finishes and puts the Webb lead to 5. Going to take a quick commercial break here as we have ended the first quarter. Webb 17, Grace 12. You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network.
You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network.
Welcome back, Spartan fans. It is Grace basketball as we start the second quarter play. Webb with a 5-point lead, 17-12. Caleb Walker working on Neighbors. He's going to dump it off to Robbie Wyndham. Number 20, he's checked in for the Grace Rams.
Wyndham, just a freshman, very good shooter. You can't take your eye off of him.
Caleb Walker. He's trying to drive inside, loses the handle, out of bounds, possession of the Spartans. So a turnover to start the second quarter of play, and checking in for Grace here is number 32. That's Matt Holland. He's going to replace number 22, Kobe Kelly. We want to apologize to the viewers who have lost our connection. We've hopefully fix that problem. And while you were gone, the Spartans took a lead, 17-12, haven't looked back as we turn it over here, and it's going to be Grace basketball with 7:23, only a couple ticks off the clock in the second quarter.
Spartans with a relatively small lineup as Minyard and Gormley are the big guys for them down low.
And it's going to be Grace with the ball, dump off to Robbie Wyndham. Wyndham and a steal by
Great
Jenkins.
play by Jenkins.
Justin Jenkins to the basket, just a lay in. He wanted the dunk, but he gets the basket anyway.
That sophomore is a bright-looking future for basketball.
Absolutely. And almost another turnover there. And the pass inside, a little bit beyond the reach of number 35. That's Tim Morris, really pestering this Grace offense as the Webb defense and press. Grace going to call a timeout, and with that, we're going to take one as well. So with 6:56 to go here in the second quarter, Webb 19, Grace 12. When we come back, it's second quarter analysis. Show us the Webb on the Web, the WOW Network.
You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network.
Welcome back, Spartan fans, to the Lee Athletic Center. Webb on top, 19-12. After a few turnovers to open the quarter, Grace forced to take a timeout and regroup. And back in for the Rams is number 21. That is Trey Stewart. He can hit the tray ball if he wants to. We'll see what happens here. With him back in the game, and it's Brandon Neighbors for the Spartans, who gives it to Whiteside. Whiteside dumps off Neighbors, who gives it into the short corner to Austin Cox, trying to find Sampson at the high post. Troy Whiteside. He lost the handle on that one for sure, slipped out of his hands, but Cox regains possession.
Great ball movement by the Spartans. They're really spreading this Grace defense out and opening up the lanes for passing cuts.
Good pump fake by Brandon Neighbors, or by Troy Whiteside, who gives it to Neighbors. Back out to Cox. Uses his head fake, takes a dribble, shoots a shot, no good. Rebound by Cox.
Oh, what a good play.
That's why they say follow your shot, fellas. He gets his rebound, puts it back up and in. 7 points on the night for Cox. Webb now leads 21-12.
Cox has exerted such good fundamentals tonight.
And there's the three-point assassin, Trey. Number 21, that's Trey Stewart.
And that's even more
Gets
importantly,
fouled.
that's a
Sampson's
foul number
third foul
3 on
tonight.
Sampson. That's about the worst case scenario that Coach Norris could have hoped for. Now he's going to have to put in Willoughby for Sampson, and he's going to have to body up Cox on Stewart.
And here comes Stewart's free throw. It is good. Burton Sampson looks like he's going to stay in the game here. Liam will be at the scorer's table, but no one checks in. Stewart, only because it's a three-point play. Sampson comes out now. Will be back in. So Trey Stewart trying to add to his total tonight. If he gets one more here, Grace back to 6.
Cox has been the answer so far for the Spartans on offense. You can't help but think that maybe Coach Norris should put Jenkins on Stewart on defense and allow Cox a little leisure room and allow him to come down and really emphasize his offensive game.
Whiteside going to dump it off to Cox, and he'll set up the offense for the Mint and Green. A high trap outside, leaving a lot of room inside for the Mint and Green to work. Good move by Cox.
Good fake.
Shot goes off the glass and no good. Ball tipped around. Whiteside regains it.
Excellent
Goes up
move.
and gets the basket and the foul.
Great athletic play by Troy. He got the scoop, the dribble, and the up and under move all in one solid motion.
So Troy Whiteside with a chance to further his point total to 5 points. 23-15 our score. Possibly 24. 5:45 to go in the opening half. Whiteside misses his free throw, and then Trey Stewart with the rebound.
And Willoughby has to look behind him. And there it is. Good vision from number 10, Tamer Hill. You can't leave that guy, you can't leave anyone open down there on the baseline.
Kobe Kelly Gets the basket underneath. 23-17 now the score. Kick out to Cox. Uses a great ball fake. Loses the ball. And then he's going to pick up the foul.
That's rough. He made a good play, good defensive play by the Rams. He, unfortunately, in the spur of the moment, just reached out with his arm.
Austin Cox.
That's not good news for the Spartans when Cox and Sampson are both in foul trouble.
Cox with 2 fouls here. And it's going to send Trey Stewart to the line. Kevin Gormley comes in. But it looks to be for Austin Cox on the 1-and-1. And Stewart hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Kevin Gormley checks in for Austin Cox.
Spartans again going with a rather small lineup. Unfortunately through force rather than coach's choice, as Willoughby is now their big man on the floor.
Trey Stewart hits both at the line. He has 9 points tonight. 23-19 the score. Neighbors drives baseline, double team there, and gets out of it, gives it to Neighbors. Or excuse me, to Whiteside. Justin Jenkins pulls up with a man in his face, no good. Tipped around, Neighbors gets the rebound, and they're going to say that foul is on the floor.
Nice move by Brandon Neighbors.
Absolutely, great job getting in there and fighting for the rebound. The Spartans are clearly outmatched height-wise on the floor.
Brandon Neighbors going to the line. He has 2 points. We'll see if he can make that 4 and push Webb's lead to 6. And there goes the front end of the 1-and-1. Now Webb. 24-19. Neighbors clutch from the free throw line. One of the few, him and Sampson, the only 2 seniors on this team. And the second free throw is no good. Willoughby fights for the rebound.
Great job, Willoughby.
And unfortunately slips and turns it out or knocks it out of bounds. 24-19 the score now, a 5-point game.
Good effort from Willoughby and Gormley there to try to save the ball.
Despite the height disadvantage, Spartans are continuing to pursue the press, and it is working.
Good defense.
Oh. Looks like they're going to get the timeout before the 5 seconds call. Either way, great relentless job by the Spartans.
So a timeout taken by Grace to prevent the 5-second violation and a turnover underneath, pretty much underneath their own basket, which would not fare well for them giving Webb the ball.
Number 14,
right
Troy
there.
Whiteside, really showing his speed right there, not letting him inbound it.
Yeah, Troy Whiteside, he does have some wheels and showing them off, right, just like you said, Cooper. And this Webb team, they're pesky. They let teams hang around for a while. We'll see what happens here with about 5 minutes left in this in the first half. And then second half last week, they came out flat, and CAK took advantage. And really, that's when they did their damage in the ball game. And tonight, not hoping to do that here. And that's going to be a turnover. Webb ball.
Great play. Norris sticking with the same 5. It doesn't look like we'll see Sampson nor Cox until the second half.
Justin Jenkins throws it in quickly to Troy Whiteside at the elbow, and the shot falls for Troy Whiteside.
And Gormley flashing towards the ball, drew both defenders down and sent a form of a crude screen, allowing Whiteside to get open.
Stewart's 3 is off the mark, no good, and Whiteside gets the rebound. Webb going to push.
We talk about the youth of these teams. Number 14, Troy Whiteside's been a key player, just a sophomore.
And a steal by Kevin Gormley after Justin Jenkins was stripped, and Troy Whiteside going to reset. 4:20 to go, 26-19. Jenkins into the short corner, back. Troy Whiteside, pump fakes, double pump fake, kick out to Justin Jenkins. And that's going to be a foul there on number 32. Oh, excuse me, 22. That falls at the hands of Kobe Kelly, his second personal.
Coach Norris has to be pleased with how these 5 individuals are playing so far on the floor. Great chemistry between all 5 of them.
So 9 fouls on Grace, sends Jenkins to the line. 1-and-1, he hits the front end. Justin Jenkins cashing in from the free throw line. He has 9 points so far tonight. Now, number 35, that is Tim Morris. Grace going to go big here. if this falls, and it will not.
Oh,
Jenkins
Justin.
follows his own rebound. No one boxing out the shooter. Jenkins takes advantage.
Second chance opportunities can be deadly.
Brandon Neighbors tips it out of bounds. And now going to check into the game's number 35, Tim Morris.
Jenkins grabbing that rebound and putting it back over everybody. He has such athleticism. The way he can jump is just amazing.
Absolutely. That's truly a reflection of this entire team. As it looks like they're leaving Stewart open down there. There goes Gormley backpedaling. There's not a player in this team who can't shoot the long ball or can't go inside and play every position, and that makes every single offense and every single personnel they come out with truly deadly.
And that foul's going against Troy Whiteside. 10th team foul, the double bonus.
That's never good to have in the first half.
So here comes the free throw by number 10. It's the double bonus. Tamer Hill misses it. He has 0 points on the night.
So both Whiteside and Cox with 2 fouls, Sampson with 3 fouls. And it looks like young Chris Zion will be checking into the game for Whiteside. Coach Norris isn't going to want him picking up a third careless foul before the end of the half.
So with the young Chris Zion in, Troy Whiteside comes out.
Zion's just a freshman.
Very talented
Very
freshman.
talented.
Neighbors with it. Uses a nice ball fake, drives inside. Now Justin Jenkins. Jenkins dumps it back off to Neighbors. Looking for something inside. Goes Gormley, drives baseline, back out to Neighbors. Open for 3.
Oh, that looked good.
Zion
Great body
goes
by
up,
Chris, and it's...
and he traveled before the shot went off. Chris Zion almost had the bucket underneath.
Great job there by Gormley to pump fake, drive, draw the double team, and kick back out to Neighbors for an open shot.
And so some confusion here. Demon Yard enters and Justin Jenkins will exit. So after the confusion is settled, we come back to the basketball floor, and finally Grace gets it in after much hard work by Nathan Silver. Chris Zion tries to fight off Silver, and then a foul against Grace.
Great job there. Great press coverage by Coach Norris. He had Zion covering him by the hip, forcing him down the sideline, with Minyard closing it from the backside from the ball dribble's blind side and just forcing the foul.
Nathan Silver commits the foul. Brandon Neighbors. Only a 9-point game. Neighbors picks up his dribble, and they're going to say he traveled. And into the game now is number 5, Caleb Walker comes in for Grace. With 3 minutes left in this half, Justin Jenkins comes back to the scorer's table. Grace trying to claw back in it, down by 9.
You know, something that impresses me about this Webb team is their use of ball fakes.
Yeah.
And it seems like they really catch their defenders off guard.
Yeah, and they get Kevin Gormley down there with a hold on Stewart. Looks like he almost got away with one right there, but when Gormley and Stewart, an obvious height mismatch, Gormley has to be a little aggressive down low. Unfortunately, he was a little too aggressive as Gormley picks up his second foul.
So with Gormley's second, that will send Trey Stewart to the line, and his first free throw is good.
He has not missed yet.
Justin Jenkins going to check back in for number 1, Dean Minyard. Stewart at the line trying to get to 10 points on the evening. His second is up, no good, and a rebound by Willoughby, who gives it out to Jenkins, and now Webb going to push. And tipped out from behind by number 11, Nathan Silver.
Good backtrack from him.
Some good defense right there shown by the Rams.
Walker, Gormley almost with the steal, and it's going to go to Nathan Silver, and a so no foul or no timeout call. It
seems to be a miscommunication, and one of the Grace offensive sets is 5 out, and apparently the ref misheard that as a timeout.
Here comes Luke Shepard. Shepard drives baseline, working on Willoughby. Nothing doing. Backs it back out. And gives it over to Tim Morris, who finally gives it to Nathan Silver to reset. 2:24 to go. 29-21 our score. It's going to be Morris trying to get something on the yard. And Stewart way outside, but we've seen him shoot it from here before tonight.
Neighbors doing a good job bodying him up, not giving him the open three.
Nathan Silver guarded out front by number 10, Chris Zion. Silver. Luke Shepard tries to dump it off inside to Trey Stewart, and he traveled before the shot. The basket was good, but a travel on Trey Stewart, another turnover for Grace.
Good idea from Shepard, lobbing it into the guard. As you just saw 3 Spartans swarming Stewart right there, and if it hadn't been for the travel, he would have gotten that too. His height is a deadly weapon.
You know, Stewart obviously much taller than anybody on the court. He's got to be at least 6'5" or 6'6", and really no one on Webb has this height except for Cole Sams.
And Justin Jenkins pulls up in the short corner and hits. Jenkins, his 13th point of the night.
Doing a great job compensating for the loss of Cox and Sampson due to foul trouble. Jenkins, a crucial member of this Webb offensive game.
It's going to be number 11, Nathan Silver. Gets a screen from Luke Shepard. Silver drives all the way to the basket himself, puts it off the glass, no good. Tipped around and finally rebounded by Justin Jenkins. And a jump ball possession to the Spartans.
Watch that Silver and Jenkins matchup. Things are getting heated as of now.
Brandon Neighbors gets the call from Coach Norris. And he'll get over to Jenkins on the right side, back to Neighbors. Trying to free something up here. Zion gives it over. Brandon Neighbors. Neighbors drives inside. Uses his body and puts it in.
Beautiful drive.
Brandon Neighbors. And now into the full court press as we approach under 1 minute to go. A 12-point lead for the men in green, 33-21.
Now they can't give up any careless shots, any careless plays before the half. They have to remain disciplined in both ends.
Tim Morris gives it to Stewart. Stewart tries to draw something up, but he gives it off to Silver on the left side, who uses his body, drives all the way to the basket on Jenkins and puts it in.
Silver with some really impressive drives. We saw him draw some contact earlier and go to the line.
Justin Jenkins. Brandon Neighbors going to back it out. And Webb going to hold for a last shot here. 24.
Now they're going to want to circulate the ball around. Don't just hold it and then throw something up. Look for something like they did at the end of the first period.
And here we go. 10 seconds. Inside to Willoughby. Willoughby uses his body.
There
Goes up and makes the lay-in.
Good communication from Coach Ricky Norris right there.
And the deep heave with time left.
Well done by Coach.
Nathan Silver fires, but no good. And Webb will end on a high note. 35-23 our score at the half, and we're going to quickly move into the Shrimp Duck halftime show. And Alex, what did you see in that first half that really stood out to you?
I saw an impressive play from the Spartans when 2 of their offensive components, like Cox and Sampson, get restricted by their foul trouble. Players like Jenkins and Willoughby and Gormley all stepped up in different ways and different roles, and their cohesiveness as one unit on the offensive and defensive end really impressed me.
Cooper, what about you?
You know, very impressive playing in basketball right there. I mean, both teams, obviously the Spartans ahead, they've played a little bit better, but I think the second half will be a good one to watch. And as we know, last game against CAK, the Spartans didn't play very well in the second half, so this could turn out to be a close game, but I would definitely stay tuned in.
Absolutely, it will be a good one. Hopefully what happened to CAK against CAK won't happen here. Let's go through some scoring totals very quickly. Number 2, Brandon Neighbors with 4 points. Justin Jenkins, number 3, with 13. Austin Cox with 7. Burton Sampson with 2. Troy Whiteside, 6. Liam Willoughby, 2, which accounts for Webb's 35 points for the Grace Rams. It was done by 4 guys. Nathan Silver with 4 points. Trey Stewart with 9. Kobe Kelly with 6. And Luke Shepard with 3. He hit that deep 3 early in the first quarter. As soon as the second quarter started, guys, it was all men in green. They controlled the defensive end and the offensive end. 35-23 the score at the half. Alex, what did they do defensively?
Defensively, they were able to body up Stewart, and they were able to throw him off his game. And Stewart, being the central force around this around the success of this Grace offense, it really impacted them, as you can see in the score. And they're going to have to continue to do that in the second half, regardless of the foul trouble of certain players.
And on the Cooper on the offensive side, it was done mostly by Jenkins with 13 points, but Cox pumped in 7, and Whiteside with 6 as well. So Webb relying on their key guys to get baskets, but also at the same time spreading the wealth.
You know, I was very impressed with Cox. He had some good rebounds. He had very good vision. He didn't only score, he also had some big assists or opportunities for assists that were just missed. And, he played really well, except for getting in foul trouble. So if he plays well on the defensive end, he'll continue to be a big threat offensively for the Spartans.
Absolutely. Offense leads to defense. We saw that in the girls' game. And after halftime, it was a 7-point game, and the girls just throttled the Lady Rams in the second half. We'll see what happens. We're going to take about a 6-minute break, and my partners here will be back with second half coverage. It's going to be a good one. Stay tuned. 35-23 the score. We're going to take some commercial breaks. So you're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network.
If you want to pass and run like the Spartans, then pass up the fast food and run into the Shrimp Dock, serving lunch daily from 11 to 3, with stores and beer. Hey, after a Spartan touchdown, why don't you touch down at your local Shrimp Dock? With locations in Bearden and Farragut, the Shrimp Dock is owned and operated by Webb parents and is the place to get your shrimp, scallops, and the only place in Knoxville to get fresh fish. So come on into the Shrimp Dock. Tell them Boomer sent you, and enjoy the freshest seafood in town.
You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network, Spartan Athletics on the Internet.
Okay.
Welcome back, Spartan fans, here to the Lee Athletic Center. My partner, Andrew Robinson, unfortunately, is not going to be able to join us in the second half. I'm Alex Lance, and I'll be taking over play-by-play. This is Cooper Enfield. He'll be my number one analyst to my right. Cooper, as we enter this second half, we have the Webb Spartans leading the Grace Rams 35-23. What are you expecting out of Grace in the second half in order to close the deficit?
I'm expecting some better defense from the Rams. They played good defense, but they still couldn't shut down our powerful offense. And I think that they'll come out in the second half and they'll be ready to play. I think both teams will be ready to play, and it'll be an exciting second half.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think Coach Norris' strategy will be in terms of Sampson and Cox with their foul trouble?
I think we might be conservative a little bit, and we may have to give up some points or something, but we definitely can't have them having any more fouls because two of our best players, we can't have them out of the game.
Absolutely, and as we say that, it looks like Coach Norris is putting some good faith in his team, as both Sampson and Cox will be starting the second half. Grace will inbound the ball here at half court. That's number 10, Tamer Hill. He'll take it up, guarded by 14, Whiteside.
Tamer, a very aggressive guard.
Absolutely, up to Stewart, swings it over to Silver. Silver holds a little bit, drops it down to the wing. That's 32, John Holland. Back up to Silver, crosses the court, switches it over to number 10, Tamer Hill. Tamer's going to swing it back over to Silver. Good defense by the Spartans. Silver's going to swing it down to the big man, Shepard. Shepard drives, kicks back out to Silver. Silver back down into Shepard, who sets up at the top of the key. The middle is open, and he takes down Sampson. Kicks it back out to Hill, and Hill sinks a three. Good offensive series from the Rams right there.
Not sure whose man that was, but Tamer Hill was just left wide open.
Now in answer, Spartans set up, swing over to Jenkins at the wing. Jenkins kicks it back out to Neighbors. Neighbors over to Jenkins, playing a little two-man game. Jenkins penetrates and kicks to Sampson, who lines up for a three, and that's just off the rim, rebounded by Stewart.
Unusual miss for Sampson. Very good shooter for the Spartans.
Quite. That last three was Tamer Hill's first points of the game. If he can get hot, that could mean some deadly things for the Rams. As Silver sets up at the top left, switches courts, hands off to Tamer, and Tamer Hill will take another three, and that's just bounce, rattles in and out. Rebound tipped around, gathered by Sampson, who presses the matter. Tip down to Troy, kicks out to Justin. Jenkins lines up another miss. And Coach Norris will take a timeout. It looks like he was not happy with what he saw with the Spartans offensively. It looks like they rushed things a little bit.
Burton Sampson playing good defense, making sure not to get his fourth foul.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think the Spartans are going to have to do defensively in order to play conservative for foul trouble while at the same time preventing the easy three?
We're in man right now, but I think if we want to keep out of foul trouble, I almost think we need to go to zone.
That's a good point. If we play a more aggressive 2-3 zone out front, we can still eliminate the three-point shot. While even though we would have to compromise the passing lanes, it seems like in this situation you're going to have to give a little.
The bad thing about the zone would be we would have to leave, some three-point opportunities out there, and we can't let Trey Stewart or any of their shooters get hot.
Stewart's been cold in the second quarter, and if he gets going, then it can be trouble for the Spartans. Oh, and just as I say that, Jenkins into Whiteside. Whiteside misses,
nice.
Gets his own rebound, second chance, put back. That's good for Whiteside.
Really a nice rebound by Whiteside right there.
Hill throws a cross-court pass to Silver. Silver lines up, Jenkins guarding him. Penetrates inside with a nice down-low look to Stewart. Stewart rattles it in and out in the layup, and then picks up a careless foul as Sampson was dribbling down the court.
A nice pass to Trey Stewart in there, just couldn't capitalize.
That'll be Stewart's first foul and his team's first foul of the half. Even though he missed the layup, that was a good-looking offense that the Rams are running, nothing like we saw in the first half. Let's see how the Spartans respond. The young Troy Whiteside dribbling up top, swings it down to his fellow sophomore, Justin Jenkins. Brandon Neighbors will now take it up top, down to Jenkins, who curls around, throws it down inside to Cox, and a go! And that could have gone either way. It looked like Shepard had his feet set, but Cox is given the benefit of the doubt, and a block is called.
That'll be Shepard's second and his team's second.
Really a good play right there by Shepard. Like you said, call could have gone either way.
It was good-looking ball movement from both teams here as we start the second half. As it appears to be some water on the court. It's been hopefully dried up, and now Jenkins will inbound for the Spartans. Jenkins up top to the wide-open Neighbors. And it looks like the Rams are coming out in his yeah, they are in a zone. The Rams are in a 2-3 zone. And Sampson penetrates in, does a nice little hop step, and he squares himself up and he finishes. Beautiful looking play just for his 4th point of the game. That's a little unorthodox from Sampson. Cross-court pass, looked dangerous in the press. Hill came down with it, swings it over to number 32. It's Matt Holland who misses the 3-pointer. Sampson will now carry, presses the matter up to Cox. Cox kicks back out to Sampson, who bobbles it a little bit. Now will now swing it to Neighbors. Neighbors drives, and Neighbors has a nice-looking layup that just falls short. Good rebound by Whiteside, but it's stolen on the pass by Hill. Hill throws it up court, a little bobble. Rams regain possession. Hill and Silver in the backcourt for the Rams, playing a nice game. As don't forget about Stewart down there in the corner. Cox is going to be lined up on Stewart. And, oh, okay. That's a travel.
Good defense from Burton Sampson
Absolutely.
right there, making sure
I
not
was
to get the
nervous.
foul.
I was nervous for a little bit. The Rams, that's exactly what they have to do. They're going to have to body up on Sampson, penetrate, force him to be aggressive, and try to get him to pick up his 4th foul. Fortunate there for the Spartans, as Whiteside will now command the Spartan offensive front, swings it down to the corner to Neighbors. Neighbors back up top to Sampson, who swings it back over to Whiteside. Whiteside now kicks to the corner to Sampson, who will line up for a 3, and that is
a good pass.
Good looking shot there from Sampson. Good vision from Whiteside, and with that, the Rams coach will take a timeout to try to keep this thing from getting out of hand.
Love watching Sampson shoot. He's got such a nice shot.
Absolutely. So, Cooper, if you're the Rams coach, what are you telling your team right now?
They've really got to buckle down on defense. I mean, look, we've scored, 7 points, and they've just scored 2. So they've either got to step up their offense a lot or, step up their defense. And they really need to do both. But
now, do you think that they would rather try to capitalize on the Sampson foul situation and try to pound down low, or try to get Stewart and Hill hot again from the outside of the arc and start racking in the threes?
Well, since Sampson is one of our big guys, I think they would love to have him pick up that 4th foul. But, whatever would work for them, I think they would love to also get Trey and them hot.
Absolutely. So. Now I'm interested to see if Coach Norris will go with any substitution change to try to counter whatever the Rams are scheming. And it does not appear so, as the starting 5 are going to stay out there.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Very true. As the Rams will inbound from down low. That's number 22, Kobe Kelly.
Really some good defense.
Excellent
again
defense.
From number 2, Brandon Neighbors. Several players stepping it up on the defensive
Silver
end.
pressed by a double team, kicks it up to Kelly. Rams on the fast break opportunity. 3-pointer from Shepard. It's no good. Neighbors picks up the loose ball. Now the Spartans are going to counter with their fast break. Jenkins kicks it to Sampson. Sampson is fouled. Appears to be on the floor. Let's see who it's on. It's going to be on 11, Nathan Silver. That's his second, team 3rd. Neighbors now takes it up top for the Spartans. It's being pressed by Tamer Hill. Neighbors kicks it down the corner to Sampson, who spots up and
good
floats
shot.
Up another beautiful shot. If you give Sampson time to spot up, he's not going to miss very often, Cooper.
Really some good movement by the Spartans to find Sampson in the corner.
Absolutely. Silver pressing the matter for the Rams. Swings it across court to Hill. Hill and Silver have been running a good 2-man game in the backcourt. And not sure what the call is yet. It's going to be a foul on Justin Jenkins for the Spartans. That's his second.
not too serious at the moment. That puts him in a group with Kevin Gormley, Austin Cox, and Troy Whiteside. You're going to need to keep that fouling at a minimum, though. You can't have too many of these key players for the Spartans fouling out.
You know, the Spartans, with this high-pressure defense, showing no sign of tiredness at all.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Simply amazing.
And another basket by the Rams nullified by a prior foul. That's going to be 44, the big guy, Shepard. That's his third. It's a good-looking offensive play. If they can start learning how to score without committing the foul, then this game would be much closer. Neighbors inbounds it to Whiteside. Whiteside's going to bring it up, pressured by Silver. Silver pressing way out on Whiteside, trying to force a turnover. Whiteside kicks it down to Jenkins. Jenkins with a nice transfer move. Hop step into the middle and a beautiful looking finish for
Jenkins
his
really
15th point tonight. Spartans continuing to press, and a beautiful looking tip by both Neighbors and Whiteside. Gormley will recover. Gormley presses in, and he just rattles in and out. And that's 22, Kobe Kelly, who comes up with it, presses it down the other side of the court, throws up a wild shot guarded by Willoughby. Willoughby rebounds, kicks it back up to Whiteside. Whiteside going to press the fast break, and it is tipped out by, and it looked like, it appeared to be tipped out by the Rams, but the Rams will be awarded the ball. Tough break for the Spartans, as that was a fast couple of seconds of basketball. And as I say, that has been reversed. The Spartans will get the ball. Jenkins to inbound. Gormley flashes to the basket. Whiteside flashes down low. Neighbors flash up top, and they give it to the cutting Whiteside, who is stripped by Silver.
Good defense by the Rams right there.
Great
to make
defense.
sure.
They're definitely pressing.
No easy baskets for the Spartans on inbounds.
Jenkins to inbound once again. Whiteside off a rub screen from Neighbors. Gathers the ball, kicks it to the wide open Neighbors. Neighbors kicks it back down. That's Liam Willoughby, who scores, but is called the traveling violation. Seems to be a common theme here tonight. As Grace now to inbound down low. Kelly inbounds it to Hill. Hill pressing up the court. Double team from Neighbors and Gormley. Splits the difference. It looked like he dribbled as a double dribble, but regardless, they let them play on as Stewart is stopped from the layup due to a foul from Spartans. Oh, that's Justin Jenkins again. That's his third foul, Cooper. That is not good to have Jenkins and Sampson both with 3, and Gormley and Cox and Whiteside both with 2. And Stewart capitalizes once again from the line. He is not going to miss many of those. And Jenkins and Whiteside and Neighbors are all going to exit the game.
Big substitution for the Spartans.
Yeah, at some point in this game, Coach Norris is going to have to put some faith in his players to really step up and play without fouling. Willoughby inbounds to Cox, who will be taking over the point guard position for Whiteside, pressured by Hill. Cox presses up the court, brings it back outside, switches directions, turns, has a nice back screen cut to Minyard. Minyard is fouled.
As I mentioned earlier, Cox, really good vision. I mean, Dean Minyard with a nice, back cut right there, and Cox finding him.
That was a beautiful two-man game from Cox. He had a nice pivot, and he saw Minyard cut and flash and cut instantly. Beautiful execution as that foul will go against Kobe Kelly. That's his third, team's fourth. And Minyard rattles the first one in from the line to get his first points of the night.
Minyard only a sophomore too. Very strong, explosive player.
Absolutely, the sophomore class is looking very promising for the future of the Spartan basketball squad. As Minyard sinks both, Hill to bring it up the floor. Spartans continuing to get in a somewhat pressureful defense. Willoughby will remain on the big man Shepard. As Stewart driving down low to the corner. Stewart remaining covered by Sampson. Kicks it back down to Kelly. Kelly up top to Hill. As 34, Andrew Byron is checked into the game for Silver. Hill kicks it out to Byram, and Byram steps up and he hits a 3. Andrew Byron.
Wide open. Somebody's got to get on him.
First points in the game, and absolutely. And now the Spartans. Oh, and they got him. That was a carry. A little bit unfortunate for Cox. Nevertheless, a good break for the Rams. They'll be going the opposite direction. Spartans are going to come out in a press here, it appears like, as Kelly will inbound it to Hill. They're going to want to keep Byron and Stewart from firing a 3.
force him to work it down low as the Liam Willoughby with only 1 foul is now on Shepard, so he can afford to be more aggressive.
Really a dangerous Grace lineup as every player on the floor can shoot right now.
And Hill fires up a 3. That's not what they want. Air ball. Sampson capitalizing. Sampson crosses over to the middle, turns, throws it up, and he gets called for another travel.
Used too many feet there.
Yeah, I guess he did. As the Rams will inbound it. That's Kelly inbounding it to Hill. Hill slowing the pace down a little bit, trying to get the ball in the hands of Stewart. Beautiful looking steal from Sampson, but Stewart brings it back. Now the Rams are on the fast break opportunity. Kelly lays it up and in, but he misses, and Willoughby now comes up with the rebound, kicks it up to Sampson. Sampson slowing the pace down a little bit, trying to set up an offensive look. Throws it up to Cox, who's going to situate the offense. Pressured by Kelly up top. Cox with some ball moving. Watch that back, over and back. And thinking the same thing, Coach Norris takes a timeout to try to set up an offensive front. With that timeout, we're going to take a quick one right now as we hear from our sponsors. You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network.
You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network. Spartan Athletics on the Internet.
Welcome back, Spartan fans. You're listening to Webb on the Web, the WOW Network, as you just saw the Spartans with an inbounding violation. Not really sure the exact details, but either way it'll be the Rams basketball as Justin Jenkins checks in for Burton Sampson, both players having 3 fouls. And with 11 seconds left in the quarter, the Rams are going to try to get a few more points on the board before going into the fourth. Kelly inbounds it back to Hill. Hill's going to step up. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Clock ticking. He's going to look like he's, excellent crossover. Floats it down low. 1 second, throws up a shot, and it's in. A little unorthodox of a play. Good looking crossover from Hill. Looked like I thought he was going to take the shot. Yeah, I thought he was going to take the shot. Dishes a risky pass into Shepard. Good athletic play to corral it and then finish it from Shepard.
Impressive crossover there by Hill to get into the lane.
Absolutely, and you know, not the worst case scenario for the Spartans. It could have been a 3-pointer, but still that's not what you want to see. As the Spartans now with a 15-point lead going to the fourth. Definitely not a blowout by any means, and it definitely a lead that can be overcome from the Rams depending on how they come out playing.
Really, I think it'd be nice if the Spartans just, you know, kind of ran away with it. Like to see some of the younger guys get in,
Absolutely,
like Cole Sams, sophomore, Frank Romano.
The sophomore class of Sams, Romano, Whiteside, Minyard, Willoughby, and Jenkins are all very talented individuals, and they're going to make one heck of a senior leadership class.
Even the JV team, you know, you have sophomores on the JV team that, you know, I mean, it's just really looking like a bright future.
And as we say that, Minyard and Willoughby will check into the game. Looks like Norris
also Jenkins.
And Jenkins. It looks like Norris is planning to be a little more aggressive and sticking Minyard and Willoughby in there. Cox carries it down, kicks it up to Minyard. Minyard looking, passes down to the wing to Cox. Cox spins. And Dean Minyard with the offensive foul with the push. And as we say that, here comes Sampson, Whiteside, and Neighbors back into the game. 3 important individuals to the scoring element of this game. And he can't get them subbed in time, so it looks like these 5 are going to be the defense. Kelly and Hill playing a 2-man game, pressured by Gormley and Cox. Kelly down to Shepard. Shepard swings it out to Byram. Byron swings it back up to Kelly. Kelly to Shepard. Shepard to Byram. Byram down to Kelly at the wing. Kelly looking for a Hill. Hill's going to look at his coach for a play. Set it back up at the top of the key.
Seems like we might have got away with one as Bynum fell there.
Yeah, looks like it. And good looking hand by Willoughby. It's tipped, so that will not be over the bag. The big man Shepard carrying it. He's proved that he can handle the ball, and he throws it away. Looking for a, you can tell what he was looking for. He was looking for Stewart seal. He was looking for the steal Stewart had down low. Unfortunately, the pass was a little off, and the Spartans will take over. The Rams, surprisingly, are not coming out in a press. It looks like they've got some confidence in their defense, as Sampson will inbound to Whiteside. Whiteside carries it up, pressured by the big man Shepard. Look for that Cox and Hill matchup down low. Sampson gets it down low, double teamed, kicks it back out to Whiteside. Whiteside out to Neighbors. Neighbors kicks it over to Whiteside of the wing. Whiteside back up to Neighbors. Neighbors swings it opposite side to Jenkins. Jenkins penetrates, hop steps, and flips it up and in. He gets the and one call with the block over. That's Shepard. That's Shepard's fourth.
Jenkins really an offensive showing tonight.
Great looking offense there from the Spartans. They spread the Grace defense thin, then Jenkins drove downhill, had a beautiful looking hop step, drew the block, and finished. Has a nice looking stroke as he caps the and one opportunity for his 23rd point of the night. No small accomplishment by any means. As looks like the court's going to get wiped off a little bit. Excuse me, 18th point of the night, still no small accomplishment. So with the court nice and dry, the Rams will take over. Kelly inbounds it to Hill. The Spartans are the one pressing. I didn't expect to see that one. They kick it in the middle to Byron. Byron over to Stewart. Stewart up top to Hill. Great pressure from the Spartans, and they're going to pick up the foul from Jenkins.
And that'll be Jenkins' fourth.
You know, at this point in the game, you can't help wonder maybe if he can trust Jenkins just to stay in. They're up by a significant amount, 6 minutes left. They foul out. They've got Minyard or Gormley to come in, and he is going to trust Jenkins. Hill drives downhill, pump fakes, dishes it down to Kelly. Kelly with a nice up and under, just misses. Rebound by Neighbors.
Good help from Whiteside right there to get back on defense.
Neighbors slips it to Justin. Justin to Sampson. Justin with a beautiful no-look pass to Sampson. Sampson with a nice up and in for his 11th point of the night. Kelly swings it over to Hill. This is not looking good for the Rams if they want to win this game. Hill down to Bynum. Bynum puts it up, rattles in and out. Good looking. They're fighting for it, and that might be a fifth foul on Jenkins, depending which way it goes. And no, it'll go against Grace. That's Kobe Kelly picking up his fourth foul on the rebound. And with that, the Spartans will enter the bonus as Jenkins will attempt the front end of a 1-and-1. Puts it up and floats it in. Testament to the strength of his knees and his ability to go to the fundamentals here at the end of the game when he's suffering from fatigue. And Jenkins rallies in his 20th point of the night, increasing the Spartan lead to 22 points. Hill bringing it back up to the Rams with just under 6 minutes to go here in the ball game. Spartans with a 22-point lead. Stewart throws it away, bounces off of Hill's hand, and it'll be Spartan ball as number 5, Caleb Walker, re-enters the game for, it appears to be Tamer Hill.
Troy Whiteside, a key defensive player for the Spartans tonight. It seems like any time they've tried to inbound the ball, Troy's been right there.
Absolutely.
Just really stepped it up and really helped us with our success.
Great vision from Jenkins down to Sampson. Sampson misses, gets his own rebound, and picks up the foul. Great job by Sampson not quitting on the play right there. As that's Caleb Walker, the player just entered the game, picking up his second foul of the night. Sampson calmly steps up and knocks down his first free throw, giving him 12 points on the evening. Such a poised leader he is, a great senior member of the Spartan squad as he steps up and flawlessly hits his second one. Walker taking over the point guard position for the Rams. Trying to hand off to Stewart, and a good-looking defensive play by Sampson, but he gets called with the too much contact. That'll be Sampson's fourth. At this point, you think they just might leave him in the game and take their chances. As it appears like that is exactly what they're planning on doing.
Both Sampson and Jenkins both have 4, so. But it seems this late in the game, Coach Norris would just let him stick it out.
It would take somewhat of a miracle for the Rams to come back from this deficit with this much time left. Bynum drives downhill, kicks it back out to Stewart. Stewart hesitates now, puts up a long 2, and that rattles off the rim. Sampson passes up to Neighbors. Spartans going to look to slow down the offensive front. They don't need any points to score. They just want to waste some time. Whiteside kicks it up to Cox. Cox down to Jenkins. Jenkins downhill drives. Kicks out to Neighbors and picks up the hold. That'll be a foul on, looked like Stewart or Bynum, and that's Stewart. Stewart's second foul. And you know, Stewart has 10 points tonight, but with a player of his athletic capabilities, that's still a testament to this Spartan defense, to holding him to 10 points, with about 6 of them being free throws.
You know, I was really impressed with Stewart. When I first saw him, I thought he would be a key post player for the Rams, but and it comes out he was a guard.
Definitely a talented individual as Walker throws it to Silver, almost picked off by Jenkins. Silver switches courts. Swings it back to Walker. Walker on Whiteside, kicks it back up to Bynum. Bynum downhill drives. Throws it back up to Walker. Walker down low to Bynum. Or excuse me, that's not Bynum. That's Tim Morris, number 35, checking in the game for Shepherd. Down to Silver. Stewart taking up the post position. Silver drives downhill, floats one up, then off and in. Tim Morris goes for the put back, no good. Sampson pushes up to Cox on the fast break. Cox with a nice over-under. Great finish by Cox for his 10th point of the night. On the other end, Tim Morris' shot blocked by Sampson. Good rebound and good athletic play by Cox. 3-on-1 for the Spartans. Alley-oop to Sampson, and Sampson just misses. Oh, that has the potential to be a good-looking play. Just a little too strong of a pass from Whiteside. And now Gormley, Minyard, and Willoughby, 3 excellent subs for the Spartans, are going to snag Cox, the 3 in foul trouble, and Sampson, Jenkins, and Cox, all 3 of them getting well-deserved round of applause for their roles they've played tonight.
Very exciting play, the alley-oop.
Yeah.
Wish we could have finished it off.
Yeah, Walker now over to the newly checked-in Matt Holland, as the Rams getting some new faces out there. Silver over to Holland on the right side.
And Cole Sams and Frank
Holland
Romano
down to
to
number
go in.
20. That's Robbie Windham, his first action night, I believe. Silver back out to Windham. Windham drives, takes it up, swings it up to Holland. Holland back up top to Morris. Morris back down to Windham. Windham gives it up back to Morris, playing a little 2-man game. Swings it over to Walker. Walker pump fakes, and they'll now take it back to the top of the key. Gives it back to Morris, or excuse me, that's Holland. Holland to Silver. Silver drives downhill, jumps and floats one, and it's no good. Rebounded by Silver, kicks it back out to Morris. Morris trying to body up Dean Minyard, driving down low. Good athletic play by Walker. Floats up a shot that's no good. And looks like a Spartan will be charged with the foul. And that's Brandon Neighbors. That's Neighbors' first foul of the game. That's not something we've said a lot tonight.
And a chance to get some younger guys in is Cole Sams, Frank Romano, and Chris Zion come in from the Spartans.
Walker steps up.
And Lee Poff and John Holland come in for the Rams.
Whiteside and Neighbors and Willoughby all coming out, getting nice deserved round of applause. All of them playing some crucial roles in tonight's supposed victory. Romano, Zion, and Sams, all very talented players. Sams and Romano sophomores, and Zion freshmen, who you saw towards the end of the first half. Gormley will now regain possession as he will lead the Spartan offense in the point guard position. Swings it over to Romano. Romano transfers, brings it back down to the corner, crosses over, kicks it back up to big Cole Sams. Cole puts it on the floor, kicks it down to Zion. Zion swings back up to Minyard. Minyard to Gormley. And Gormley on the 5-on-4 opportunity down to Minyard. Minyard attempted up and under, a little too strong, as that'll be rebounded by Holland. Picked up again by Romano. Romano will set it back up. As he hits Gormley on a little backdoor cut, Gormley back to Romano. Romano is going to put up a 3 and just barely misses off the rim as the Rams are going to recover. Walker's going to push it up the court. Walker swings it over to Holland. Holland pings it off the glass. Walker now driving, kicks it back out to Holland. Holland swings it over to Windham. Windham down to John Holland. John Holland, who's probably his brother Matt. Matt Holland kicks it back to Windham. Windham drives, kicks it back out to John Holland. John Holland to Lee Poff, his first action tonight. Poff over to Walker.
Both Holland and Poff, just freshmen, very impressive players for the Rams. Foul Cole Sams. Cole is also a very big threat on the football team, only a sophomore. He's a big guy, and he's got a good future in both sports. We're excited about having him.
He will in all likeliness be our starting tackle next year and our starting nose tackle on the defensive front. As John Holland puts up a free throw, and it's up and in for his first points of the evening. Decreasing the deficit from the... And Holland misses the second one. Minyard boards it and gives it back up to Romano. Holland with that made free throw decreased the deficit to 25 points for the Spartans just over a minute to go. Gormley with a nice
take
move
by Kevin Gormley.
Good hesitation there, and he puts it up and in. Gormley for his first points of the evening. Windham kicks it over to Matt Holland. Matt back to Holland back to Windham.
And they know to guard Windham closely because he can shoot the lights out.
To John Holland. John Holland down to Lee Poff. Poff kicks it to the corner. That's 41 Preston Disney, his first action of the evening as well. Disney back over to Matt Holland. Matt Holland over to Windham, the shooter. Windham back up to Disney. Disney pressured by Gormley up top. He lost his dribble. Good recovery. Bounce pass to John Holland. John Holland out to Windham. Back down to John Holland. John Holland puts it up and misses, gets his own rebound, puts it up and in. So 23-point lead now, I believe.
Holland, the freshman, with 3 points. Impressive in
Gormley with a nice crossover and a little miscommunication. Romano zigged and Gormley zagged, and the Rams will get the ball. Or I believe it's a foul. I think that's a foul on Kevin Gormley. Huh. Didn't see any foul situation there, but regardless, that'll be his third foul. Wyndham brings it up, pressured by Romano with just 10 seconds left in the game. Over to Matt Holland. Matt down to his brother John. Kicks it off to Disney. Disney to Poff. Poff down to Matt Holland. 2 seconds left, and Wyndham throws up a shot and just goes off the rim, and that will do it, folks. The Lee Athletic Center, the Webb School Spartans have knocked off the Grace Rams by a score of 61-36. Cooper, how impressed were you with the Spartans' play in the second half?
You know, the Spartans came out in the second half, and it was a 7-point game, and they really just broke it open. And, you know, played well both defensively and offensively. And, you know, they set the tone for the second half early. And, you know, they just stayed on them the whole time.
What possible criticism could you have for the Spartans going into the future part of the season?
Well, I would say that Sampson and Cox, it'd be better if they stayed out of foul trouble, but, you know.
Yeah, tonight it was very fundamentally sound game played by the Webb Spartans. If they can continue to do that throughout the season, it's going to be a tough time beating them. Cooper, give me who's your Shrimp Dock player of the game?
You know, I'm going to have to go with sophomore Justin Jenkins. He had 20 points and, you know, numerous rebounds too. You got to think with 20 points, he obviously, you know, led the team in scoring and really set the offensive tone for the Spartans. Just took it right at him tonight.
There we have it, folks. Justin Jenkins is your Shrimp Dock player of the game, dropping, that is 20 points for the Spartans. For the rest of the Spartans, Sampson had 12, Whiteside had 8, Willoughby had 2, Minyard had 2, Neighbors had 4, Gormley had 2, and Cox had 10. Looking over the Rams, Hill had 3, Silver with 4, Stewart with 10, Kelly with 6, Holland with 1, Byron with 3, and Shepard with 5, making that a total of 61-36.
victory for the Webb Spartans here tonight. Cooper, I know that the victory was a large margin, but give me one thing that you liked about the Rams' play tonight.
You know, the Rams, through it all, they didn't give up, which is what I really liked. You know, they were hardworking the whole time. It seems like even in the fourth quarter late, they were still high-tempo offense. None of them looked tired, and, you know, they were attacking. They couldn't get anything to fall, and, you know, sometimes that'll happen. But, you know, they were just relentless in their effort, and that was what impressed me.
Absolutely, I agree with you. It was, despite the score, it was a good-looking game to watch. Both teams had their own sets of athletes, and I wish the best of luck to the Rams and the Spartans in their future games. Well, and with that will do it here from the Lee Athletic Center. You're watching the Webb Spartans take down the Grace Rams by a score of 61-36. Until next time, folks, I'm Alex Lansing. I'm joined by Cooper Enfield. Until then, dream of Spartan victory. You're watching Webb on the Web, the WOW Network.